Imagine waking up and finding out that the FinTech app where you saved your money or where you made investments suddenly collapsed. Everywhere go first blow. Now the big question is, who should be held responsible? Welcome to the second episode of Survive or Sink. I remain your humble host, Didier Harmony Ezine. I have a very, very beautiful guest today, and I'll let her introduce herself. So over to you, ma'am.
Okay, I am Prayer. That's my name.
Oh wow,
Prayer. Yeah.
Like your parents gave you that name,
Yes.
Prayer.
Oh, that's my name, Prayer.
Wow.
Prayer ordinary name Adeji-Paul Esquire.
Nice to have you here, ma'am.
Yeah, pleasure is mine.
Should I start? Oh wow, I'm really enjoying this session with you. You're giving us hot words. There's really so much in your brain. You're welcome. So I want to know, like, how long have you worked with like Nigerian FinTech app?
Okay, I've worked with the FinTech ecosystem or worked in the FinTech ecosystem for a while, say 3 years and counting. And I think for me, it wasn't just about law at first. It was understanding its fintech system. I actually stumbled into this space. It's not like I planned I was going to do it.
It was
it was not like live.
Okay.
I was seated and the opportunity just came.
And
So
grab it.
I started off working as a customer support staff.
Okay.
So I got to relate with a lot of customers, hear what they think, issues they had. So when I went to law school, I could relate certain things.
It was easier for you.
So it was easier and I was interested. So I decided to take it.
I needed to ask because, man, you're giving us back to back. We're so glad to
By the
have
way,
you.
it pays the bills.
Oh my god, from your experience, how risky is FinTech compared to traditional bank? Is there any risks attached to like FinTech?
With anything money,
Okay.
there are risks attached.
Attached.
And with fintech companies, the risk is actually from the app, yes.
Like, okay, the people that built the app. Or
The app, not just people that
company.
build the app. It's one thing to build the app, it's another thing to manage it.
Okay.
Now,
yes.
many times where the loss comes from, it's not even in the building, it's
It's
the
the
running
management.
over time.
Okay.
Now, many companies do not build sustainable business models, and it affects how they manage their funds. One of the things that make fintech companies close up is funds. If they no longer
And
have funds to
mismanagement
run the
too.
business, it will not exist anymore. Mismanagement.
That's another
Yeah,
thing.
especially when it comes to decision making and compliance. Compliance is very important. Regulation, like to be regulated by the governing
Government,
authorities
yeah.
that are in charge. Very important. And when companies do not pay attention to their internal structure, it will bring a collapse from inside.
Because some people just wake up and just want to.
The
build
collapse
an
usually from
appetite.
the inside out. You have to, even the Bible says that no man builds a house that comes because you have to calm down.
You're pretty. Okay. So there are risks.
Yeah,
involved.
there's a form of risk. Although, especially for licensed fintech,
FinTech. Okay.
the risk is reduced because one of the prerequisites for getting your license is that the customers, the money in their account has to be insured.
Oh,
Yes.
to avoid stories.
Yes. So there's a form of insurance that covers the customer's funds. So even if you as a company lose your assets, maybe you're winding up.
Okay.
You lose
Their
your
funds are
assets.
still secure.
These customers' funds are secure.
Are secure. That's nice.
That's the reason why you have to be sure that the app you are downloading, the fintech company you're interacting
Is
with,
licensed. Because these days we just go on Instagram and we see some kind of apps. You just download. You don't even know. Like, you don't even know if the app
people
is
don't pay
safe or-
attention to details.
Honestly.
On websites of fintech companies, you will see when they are licensed, their license
Okay, they actually put it there.
number is on their app.
That's nice.
In fact, CBN has a portal website www.cbn.gov.ng, you will see all the companies across their different licenses, companies that have certain licenses. They're all listed there.
That's nice.
People don't just check. Everybody's in a hurry, just want to cash out.
Exactly, and before you start running around, dragging,
and you're not paying attention to what you should pay attention to. There is a form of risk. You can't take it out. Anything that has to do with finances, money, risk is involved. But you see, you have a part to play. The company has a part to play to protect their customers. That's the reason why you have to be sure that the company or the fintech you are interacting with, the financial company you're interacting with, is properly licensed. There is no way you'll be licensed without having compliance structure internally. Yes, so you have a lawyer who is responsible, so that when things go south, they can salvage the situation.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. We also want to know, what are the most common business fintech failed in Nigeria?
Like I said,
you said something about
their
business model.
Yes, they don't build sustainable business models. Some of them don't consider long term when they are starting up, so they don't put certain structures in place. That's the reason why licensing helps you, because when you're about to obtain your license, according to CBN regulations, there are certain things that has to be in place. Yes, that has to be in place. In fact, they must have seen that you have operated your system for a while
before they can even,
for about 2 years, and you have to have documentations.
Very important
to prove, to show. There's I think there's market analysis. There's certain documentations that has to do with finances, projections, and the rest that you must have to protect, so that you can see when your accountants look at your financial projections, look at how far you're doing, they can advise you on what to expect in 5 years, in 10 years. So some companies don't have sustainable business models. That's the reason why.
That's why
there's another thing that people don't take seriously, or sometimes because it's tech. They don't take their internal governance seriously. What is internal governance? Compliance. The truth is that compliance is the breadth of any fintech company. You have to be regulated. You have to be regulated. If you're not paying attention to regulation, it's just a matter of time. You fool up. In fact, you are a walking bomb.
Honestly, everything is going to scatter. Honestly,
at a point. So people that don't pay attention to internal governance, they are a risk just waiting to happen. So you have to be sure. That's the reason why you have to check for terms and conditions, their agreements. It has to be on their website, not just somebody just doing something very crass.
Just
pay attention.
Honestly,
pay attention. They should not just have handles on Instagram. Check out what did they do there.
Can even go and Google.
When people who make use of this or who interact with these financial institutions, when they have issues, how do they get responses? What are the interaction structures like?
This will not help you to even know if you should continue or you should run for your life.
Yes. So business models that are defaulted, or default business models that cannot be sustained. That's one. Shaky or no governance structure at all.
No regulations,
no form of regulation, no internal control. It's one of the reasons why many fintech companies fail. Yeah.
Thank you so much for interacting.
Structure is everything.
Very important. Oh, we are moving forward. If a Nigerian user loses money, can they sue the company?
They can sue, but you see, the company is the last person. In fact, going to the courts is your last remedy.
So who should be held?
It's like a ladder. There are steps that you should follow. Okay. Now, the first thing that happens when you feel like you've been scammed, or you feel like something has happened that has infringed on your rights, or you feel like your trust has been breached, or your contract with the financial company has been breached, the first thing you should do is to reach out to the financial company. Every working, responsible fintech company should have a system where disputes is resolved. They should have a system of reporting. That's basically customer support. Either they're making use of email, they have media accounts, maybe on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. There should be a form of reporting. Now, it's when they don't attend to you. The next thing you should do is to reach out to the regulatory body in charge of such fintech company. That's the reason why you have to understand the license that they hold.
Because if you don't even understand, how do you want to know the regulatory body?
You don't have. It's not that you have to know everything. Just know is it licensed. Go to CBN. When you go to CBN portal, you see the different category of services that fintech companies offer. You see your own that you are looking for.
That's the app, your
app. Okay. Check out for the name. If they are not listed here, at least you should be sure that they are on their way to acquiring a license. So reach out to the reporting system, maybe their customer care support, email or I don't know, whatever system you operate for their resolution of conflict or disputes whenever such arise. Now, if you don't get any response, then you can reach out to the government body, you can reach out to CBN. There is they have an email, it's online. I think it's consumer@cac or consumer@cac.gov.ng, something like that. I think after this broadcast, I want to put some of all these emails where you can reach out to regulation bodies just in case. Now reach out to any of these regulatory bodies. Then if it's a traditional bank, you have your NDIC, Nigeria Depositing Corporation. Sorry, I don't know. I'm missing the words. But you see, you have a government body that is in charge of insurance. Now your bank is not responding to you. There's somebody to reach out to before you start thinking of court.
So you don't.
Court is like the last
resort
and
of
truth
a common
is,
man.
before you go to court, make sure that you have proper documentation, because court does not follow it happen, it's evidence. Evidence. You should be sure that you have enough evidence, proof against the company. It's not like you will not win, no.
That's what I wanted to find. Is it like we always win this
No,
case?
of course. Now you have, especially if you have your facts put together, you have your evidence. The law is not sentimental or emotional. You have to be able to prove beyond reasonable doubt. That's a criminal.
Yeah.
Then you have to be able to prove sensibly. I don't want to use balance of probability. That's what we use in law. But you have to be able to prove sensibly. So if I see this, I see your transaction receipt, I see the email, I see no response, I see the timestamp, I should be able to say this financial company defaulted in their responsibility to their customer. So it's not like you can't win, but it's a lot.
That's what I wanted to know.
So before you start running to court, there are other
regulations.
Get your resolution. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being in our midst today. We are so glad to have you. We want to remind you to use popular.